Most people see the wheelchair. They don't see the father behind it. The early mornings, the sleepless nights, the challenges, the victories. We're raising families, breaking barriers, and proving every day that limits are meant to be challenged. Real dads, real stories, real life. Welcome to Wheelchair Dads.
All right, guys, what's the moment that you felt the most guilt towards your wife for being in a wheelchair or your disability?
Mine is when I can't one of my biggest things is when I can't help really cut the grass around the house because it's hard for me to get on the lawnmower and do things, or when I see my wife struggling to do something and I just can't help. It's tough. It's tough.
That's what
That's
about,
one of my biggest things.
how about you, Doug?
Probably the most would be when we were doing the IVF
Mm,
and going through those
oh yeah,
struggles and just
that's a tough one.
knowing that most likely it was because of the spinal cord injury and all the extra stuff that it brought along.
Those are good ones. I'm gonna go with my first one, and it was actually when we just got married. I was trying to help unload the car from with wedding gifts and just couldn't do it. And she's like, just sit down. So there I was just watching her unload the car and just couldn't do anything. Kind of that same like helpless
Mhm.
feeling, but she's got to push through. All right. So, welcome to Wheelchair Dads. We can't stand up, but we show up. This is honest conversations about fatherhood, disability, and everything in between. Today, we are talking about guilt, or we call it kind of dad guilt, but it's guilt specifically towards our wives, just based on what we just talked about. So, maybe let's elaborate a little bit more here and talk specifically about physical stuff. So what's the thing you wish you could do, but you can't?
You know, it's there's a lot I can say. There's a lot because for me, even before kids, I see my wife struggling to do things that I, as a man, should be doing. I was always into working on vehicles, and I had to sort of coach my wife to sort of help me change brakes, help me grease my Jeep, help me grease the side by sides. Um, and then even like going towards cooking with my limited hand function, I can't really cook. I tried cooking. I'll never forget. I tried cooking uh, just fries and stuff in the oven, and I couldn't, and I dropped everything, and it's like, or just trying to help fold clothes or get the clothes out of the washer. Uh, it's hard for me to do that type of stuff. Physical, there's a lot of
Yeah,
physical stuff. A lot of
it's
physical stuff.
it's funny you mentioned the lawn stuff. So my brother and I growing up, we had a little neighborhood lawn service, nothing crazy. And so I have a very specific way that I like the edge like done and like the grass cut. And I have to bite my tongue because she's just out there doing it. And honestly, those are some of the tensest moments because she's like, come out, just tell me how you want it. And I'm like, but I can't tell you too much because we reach a point when you're not happy anymore and I just gotta shut up, and be quiet. But like those are the moments where I was just like, I wish I could just do this. Not only for her, a little selfishly for me, but that even bringing in groceries, like, I'm just sitting there
Yeah.
and now our kids are getting old enough where it's like, go help mom. So that makes me feel a little bit better. But like, yeah.
Her,
Doug, what about
her
you,
care.
man?
Oh,
Oh, oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
pretty much along those same lines, just like uh, the physical stuff. I guess after this many years, myself and then her also just like we look at it as an efficiency standpoint. Even some of the stuff that I can do, if it's easier for her to do it, she'll do it, and
Yeah.
it's
Just
just
knock it
more
out.
efficient, like
Yeah.
pumping gas. I can get out and pump gas, but I'd rather just take the stairs that I get for being the guy sitting in the
yeah.
driver's seat while the wife gets out and pumps my gas.
Yeah.
Um, and just
That is
like,
so true.
and I'm tall, and I just know like if I could stand, like I could reach this, or I could lift this, or I could move this. Just and we've moved multiple times now, houses, so it's like those
Yeah.
things, it's like it'd be I'm a good dolly, but for like big stuff, it still sucks not being able to help and like rely on other people, not just my wife, but other people as well. So
Yeah.
You know what you said about pumping gas and stuff. I've lifted Jeeps, and when I go to the gas station to pump gas, and I'm sitting there looking out the window, trying to tell Brittany how to open to get to pump the gas, because where I put my gas fuel cell is up higher, and I'm like, these people are probably wondering, what is he doing? Why doesn't he just
Right.
get out and do it? And it's the things that people. That's a lot of. There's a lot of physical. Just the other day, my wife, my brother-in-law, and my father-in-law had to go get yesterday. I had to go get the kids. We got a new play area for the kids, and it devastates me almost that I can't go and be there to help do that and carry these things on the trailer, unload them. So basically, I'm just sitting there, like you guys said, you're sitting there watching, and it's tough. That is very tough. And see, my wife's a professional backup. She can back a trailer up anywhere. It was absolutely impressive
Nice.
yesterday, and it's just the physical. It's just not being able to help. It's so
Funny you guys are kinda like, the things I thought of were first kinda like in our home, but when you go out and you have people that are watching, it gets worse. So there's one experience. So with our first kid, we were doing a hospital tour. And this is when I was kind of transitioning from that crutch to wheelchair where it's like, I just can't walk on the crutches anymore. It hurts too much. My legs aren't strong enough. So I had my 8-month pregnant wife with one of the hospital wheelchairs, which, don't have, like, you can't push them by yourself. And she's pushing me with this big group tour through the hospital, and we're going through, I feel horrible. And then this couple who they just had a baby and they kind of stopped because the group was going by. And this one guy, he just says, that's the way to do it. And I'm just like, dude, you have no idea like how bad I feel right now that my wife, who's about to give a baby, is pushing her 250-pound husband, through the hospital here. So honestly, going back to that intro, that was probably the worst like moment. And I'm a very calm guy, but I wanted to punch that guy like right in the face. It was just, dude, you gotta, and to be fair, he didn't know, but
and
still,
people don't think before they speak because it's just like, oh, it must be nice to sit down all the time. No,
right.
it's not. Yeah, it.
Yeah. So
You know,
what,
real quick, like what you said with going at the beginning, how we started. Sort of, I was trying to think. I had all these things to say, and it's like the hardest thing too. Also, is physically when, like you said, my wife was pregnant with triplets, and she'd be because we had people in the back of the car, or we had stuff in the back of the car, so she'd be getting my wheelchair or didn't want me to break it down. She'd throw it in the back of back of the car and get it out for me. It's like, and people are probably like, "Boy, what in the hell is going on there?" It's just,
right.
it's tough.
Yeah. So have you guys, let's talk about us. Like, how have you gotten over that barrier, or have you gotten over that barrier? Like, how do you deal with it? We'll get to how maybe we work with our wives on it, but how do we deal with that guilt? Because I know for me, it wasn't easy, like to get over that and to accept the situation. So what are maybe what can we do? Like people who haven't been through this or are dealing with it right now, like how do you deal with it?
Doug, I'll let you go first on this one.
it's a tough one because I don't know. And my wife's gonna laugh because she's gonna be like, "You're gonna come off as the asshole of the group," because I probably don't feel as much guilt because I we didn't get together until like I was 20 some years in a chair. So like I was very self efficient and like I'm hard headed. So like I'll do it myself regardless if it was efficient for somebody else to do it or not. Um, but I guess just the thought process behind it, like it just is more efficient. So I look at it that way of like, yes, I can do it, but if it makes more sense to get help, I don't mind asking for help. Um,
I
but I
would think
don't
with
want to
that,
get I just never wanted to get to the point where I was like relying on somebody and they weren't pushing me to do better myself. Like,
Mhm.
my parents were
So
that way when I was young, so, like, that was probably the biggest thing that they could have did for me. It was, like, not babying me and, like, "Hey, you're gonna do this yourself regardless. Like, you're gonna get a job. You're gonna go to you're going back to school. You're getting a job." Like, it wasn't, "You're not sitting around and doing nothing, so, like, you're gonna figure it out." And luckily, I had that mentality, but, it's mine, I guess, is more focused not as much the physical stuff, but, like, the IVF process and the emotional side of things, like, what it's hard to know what wives are thinking, like, when
mhm.
they're with the guy in the chair versus, like, most of our wives could be with any guy, but they're choosing, like, to be with us, and it's just I don't know, it's hard to explain,
I
because,
think go ahead,
like, the
sorry.
IVF process, we wouldn't have had to g she wouldn't have had to put her body through what she did with somebody else. Like, it was because of the spinal cord injury and all of our issues that made us go that route. That's just tough to suck up. Like, I would just and a lot of the pain and all that stuff is just like we're used to the pain and stuff, and I wish I could just take all that and like do that, like go through that stuff myself and not be the one causing somebody else the pain and agony and hormones and all that stuff that they had to go through.
I think for me, I think there's 3 things that popped up. 1, it just takes time. Like, you have to adjust. Like, there's no easy answer really to it. Like, do this and it's past. And for me at least, I have to know I'm giving my effort. Like, I'm not just being lazy and like do it because just for myself, that's a big part. And then I think the other part is being appreciative. Like, knowing that recognizing that it's tougher for her, saying thank you. Or, I mean, I don't do it all the time because there are certain things where it's just she does it, but like, you know, just recognizing and being grateful for it. I'd say those are I'm sure there's more and everyone's different and everyone's gonna have their process, but I think those are kinda the 3 because it's really not an easy just like flip the switch and you're good because you're adjusting to life now where someone's helping you and, like, you wanna do it yourself, kinda like you were saying, Zach, like, you used to do all these things and now
Yeah.
you can't.
No, I'm hearing you guys. It's crazy to listen because we all have such a different story, sort of, but we're all in the same spot now. When I was first injured, I knew Brittany before I was injured, and were friends and stuff. And then at 19, when I got injured, um, she sort of just stayed and never left, which was amazing. And the mental strain was so hard on me because I didn't know what way to turn. I was trying to understand my body, what was even going on. And then I have a girlfriend now that what do I do? I'm in a chair. She has to help me eat. She has to basically feed me. She has to help me shower. She has to, and the mental side of that was super, super hard on me because I didn't, why is she staying? Why, like, why? Why do you want to put yourself through this? Why do you want to do this? And, she just kept reassuring me, if I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here. Like, and she pushed me to get over that hump of, uh, it was the mental side of things, but still, even to this day, um, it's mentally hard for me to have to watch her do certain things. When she's trying to lift, we'll say her bike in the back of the car or whatever, and I can't help do that, or we have to call our neighbor up um to help move something for the kids because we can't get it outside. Mentally, it's very, very tough. But as you guys said, it's sort of like you adapt to it and you have to understand, okay, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay that you might need some help moving something, reaching something. But that was very hard for me to a hard pill for me to swallow because I never liked asking for help ever doing anything growing up. And my parents, you know, my work ethic was from my parents. Like I went to work, went to school. After school, I'd go to work when I was in high school. So it was tough. It was a big change of pace for me, mentally and physically.
I was totally agree with all that. And I was thinking about the guilt, and you kind of mentioned something that Zach, that sparked my thought as, you know, her life has also changed because of
Right.
this. So
Right.
her hopes, her dreams, you know, everything that maybe she thought she was gonna do, like it I wouldn't say it all came crashing down, but like it altered it
Right.
significantly. And I feel like, at least for our situation, like I went into the hospital a couple weeks before the wedding, we got out, we got married, like we were in that honeymoon phase of like, this is gonna be our life. And it totally was just like, we feel like we never had a honeymoon phase, like because we got slapped with reality, like right in the face, which made us grow up in our marriage very quickly. But yeah, it's just, I think there's a little bit of guilt like that way, like she could be doing this or that or the other, but she's here with me, you know,
Well,
sticking it out.
yeah, and you guys all know this, like going on vacation or traveling or doing something, we have to take so much more. We have to
Right.
do these special things to get on a plane. When she could just go, uh, and not have to deal with any of that. And we're constantly worrying about our chairs, or we gotta have. What if our tire pops? What if our cushion pops? What if something, you know, say we have an accident or something? You're like so much going on in your mind. It's hard at first to have fun. It honestly was super hard to have fun at first because I'm constantly worried. And okay, can we get there? Is there steps? Is Brittany be able to get me down the steps? Can we get down to the beach where everybody's gonna be? It was tough. It's tough. There's so much. Just you guys
I
got my wheels turning. It's true.
Yeah, I literally have the exact same note right here about the like traveling and the plane and like because they're now responsible. Like once we transfer to the seat, like they're taking care of the cushion, the wheels, making
Hmm.
sure like it gets to where it needs to go, and like communicating with the staff and stuff, and being like, "Hey, he needs it at the next stop." Like they have to
Yes,
handle that
yes.
because we're stuck in the seat.
Hmm.
Um, but in packing the vehicle, like, I can pack most of the vehicle, but there's certain things, like, if I can't reach a certain thing or I can't do this or can't do that, like, it's just a lot of relying on them. And I think Zach mentioned it, and I think you mentioned it, Jared, last time was, like, and it sounds like we've all 3 had this similar experience of being, like, giving them the like, I've reached my point when we first met because I was going through, like, a lot of health issues and, all the crap that we deal with when we got together. So like our first like she jokes that like it was practically our first one of our first date was a surgery for me for in the hospital, and like he showed up and was there, and like we barely knew each other, but
Wow.
and like getting over the hurdle of like you said, Zach, like they have to help take care of you in that moment, and like we had just met, but I reached my point where it's like why are like it like now is the time to like just go if you're gonna go like don't get into this. This
Right.
is this is the shit you have to deal with for like the rest
Yeah,
of your life. Like this is
right.
what we're like this is my life. This is what I've been dealing with for 20 years. Like you don't have to do this.
Kind of on that with the sick, it reminded me, just the other night, we had 2 kids with stomach bugs throwing up. My wife had a stomach bug throwing up, and I'm just laying there, and she still has to go take care of the sick kids, even because we have kids on bunk beds. She had to change the sheets on the top bunk, and I'm like, I, I can't reach it. I can't get up there, and so it's those are like the moments where it's just like I know you're feeling bad too, but you're still the one, and so yeah, it's just all. I'm sure we could keep going with experiences, but my next question kind of was, or Doug, were you going to say something first
You
before
know,
you? Okay.
I was just gonna say that our wives are champs. They're seriously
They
champs.
are. So have you guys talked about this with your wives? Like, because I'm thinking, I'm like, it's not going to succeed if there's not open communication. So like, have you talked about it? Do you talk about it often? And was it kind of a one-time conversation where it's like, hey, we cleared the air, we're good, or is it a continuous type of a conversation?
I think it's continuous teamwork, continuous discussion, maybe, uh, but not not in depth discussion with me and Brittany. Like, um, we know our lanes, we know what each of us can do. Um, and honestly, I don't want this to come off sounding bad, but like, I'm good at like, I'm good at explaining things. And like, so for instance, like, working on our pedal bikes or working on my Jeeps or need something before we go for a ride, I can explain something. And Brittany's very, very intelligent. She figures things out. Sometimes those lead into arguments where where she's trying to change a dirt bike tire and it's not working. And we're like, oh my gosh. But it's, you have to be very open and discuss how you're feeling. Because I've done it where I didn't, I didn't open up and say, boy, that really made me mad when somebody did something that I could have tried to do, but it might have took me longer. Like, and she couldn't understand why I got mad, but I would rather do it than have somebody else do it if I can do it. Might take a little bit longer. But just different things like that. Like, um, I can remember even Brittany always liked. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but when I need help doing something, I go right to Brittany. So for instance, if I'm going to go up a set of steps, Brittany's going to help. We're going to figure it out. We're going to
Mm,
do it because
yeah,
I trust her, and I don't, it's hard for me to trust people, a lot of people, my
totally
friends.
agree.
Yes, obviously, but, and now Brittany's like, no, I'll help you when somebody tries to help. So we are very open communication, and we can tell when one of us something's going on. As you guys know, your wives. And I'll ask Brittany. Sometimes she gets annoyed with me. I'll say, "Is everything okay? Like, is something wrong? Just tell me." But that's, I guess, sort of my answer to that because you, I think you just have to keep the open communication, and if something's going on, discuss it. Because if you don't discuss it, it builds up. We've done that before. It builds up and then blows up into something way bigger than it should have been.
Hmm. Totally agree. It's got to be open. Like you said, Zach, it's not, there wasn't one moment where it's like we decided it's almost kind of when it comes up. I'm sure at the start of all like our relationship, it was like, what we got to work through it. Like, what's going on here? But she's always assured me, like, don't feel guilty. I'm just here. And when I say always, I mean, that was more at the beginning. Now we know each other.
Hmm.
Okay. When we're doing the lawn, it's like, okay, we know it's going to be tense, but once it's over, we're kind of like, it's over and like we move on. But the other thought I had was I think typically men are those like closed off emotional guys, and you can't be in this situation. Like you have to open up, talk about it, be empathetic too, which I think it sounds like we all are. But
Hmm.
My wife's gonna disagree there because like as
yeah.
I'm listening to it, she's like, she's probably gonna love these episodes. She's like, this is what he needs.
Wait,
This is exactly the two that he needs to hang out with.
Well,
wait,
tell us about yours, Doug.
let's
Like,
hear it. Let's
how do
hear
you?
it.
Yeah, how do you
No,
guys do
I'm
it?
just like, I guess I suck at communicating. Like I will like figure, like I said before, like I, and I guess she doesn't, she's not really, when we're doing stuff together, like she's the kind that she's not gonna really complain to me either. So it's like she'll just like do it, and she's probably gonna hate doing like whether it's like weed eating or something like that. And it's like I know it sucks, but like it needs done. So it's like I can do it, but it's more efficient for you to do it. Um, so she's like, "Well, I'll do it then," because like she knows it's more efficient. It just sucks that she has to do it, and
So,
I think we know that from each other. We just don't really communicate
You
it
could
all the time.
you communicate it in a different way, is what it sounds like.
Good.
Yeah.
also on what you're saying, Brittany will say, "Let me just do it. I can do it." But also on that, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's great. She says, "I'll do it." but it also it's hard for me because yeah, I can do it. Like weeding, like you said, I can do it, and it just they take me longer. And sometimes I want to do it, but it's just tough. But I want to know, like, I got a question. So when you what did you do? I guess what I'm throwing a question back because I'm just thinking. So like, not just how do I put this? Not just at like going through the years. At first, what did you guys do? Like, how did you communicate? What did you do? So for I'll give my answer. For me,
Okay,
it
yeah.
was like it was like, okay, we're talking about, now how we communicate, we're open. But at first I didn't communicate. I was closed. I was locked down, and it was very tough for me to communicate my feelings. Like you said, Jared, we're guys. We don't like, a lot of people don't like to discuss that stuff. And I had to. As hard, as bad as I did not want to become emotional, and I had to have a breakdown one time, and after that it's like I got to start talking. You have to start talking to your wife, to explain how you're feeling, because they don't know how you're feeling. You're going to be pissed off all day and they're not going to know why. And that's what I did. So I just had to ask that because I was thinking, we're talking like now how it was, but at first, when you first got into this, I locked down. I was at rock bottom.
I think I was maybe not completely similar, but when I would get frustrated, I'd kind of shut down and just go quiet. And I almost needed time to process, I think, and be like, okay, I don't want to blow up, even though there were blow ups, but like
Yeah.
like let me get my thoughts together. Let me figure out my emotions. Also, on top of all this, I was on a extremely high dosage of prednisone, so I had some roid rage going on. So she was always just like, this is just the steroids. He's just mad because of the steroids. And I would even look at myself. I'm like, who is that guy? Like in hindsight, I was like, so I had to mentally like, it's almost like you had to like experience it, and then in hindsight be like, I don't like that. Like I need to do better so that she could do better and we can do better together, essentially.
Yeah, and I'd say
That's
I'm still probably very similar, but like um, just shut down, be quiet, and then give myself time to really just think back and then like realize, yeah, I'm probably just being an idiot and like
And
overthinking the situation.
there's still times now that I kind of shut down, but it's not to the
you're right.
extent, but it's like she knows, I know. It's like, let me give you some time to process, but it's not a long time. And now I even vocalize that. I'll just be like, just give me a minute. Like I just need a minute,
And I think you have to do that. I really do think you have to do that. Like you said, we have to say that too. And the other thing is, as tough as mentally, you're starting to, sometimes you get so mad, and we're stuck. We're stuck almost, like, and you say things you don't mean right away, and you're like, oh crap.
hmm
It's tough, and you gotta communicate stuff. But yeah.
There was just recently, I learned this. I mean, we've been married 18 years basically. And we were talking about this topic, and she's like, there's one thing that she promised herself that she wouldn't do in an argument, and that's use, the handicap, use that, well, I do this and I do that and I do that. And like, I was just like, it blew me away because I've never thought of that. But the fact that she's just like, I can't, that's not fair to do that. Because obviously he doesn't want to be in a wheelchair, doesn't want to do that. So
Mhm.
I really admire her for that, to, even in anger or being
Yeah,
frustrated with me, she's not going to
yeah,
Yeah.
to
throw it in
think
my
of that. That's
face.
awesome.
Yeah. And it sounds like your
Brittany,
wives are probably similar, I would think.
when Brittany gets pissed off, she just pushed my wheelchair away from me and say, "Go get it." No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's awesome. It is funny though, because so I can only hear out of one ear, and this when we are in maybe an argument or something, I'll just plug the other ear with one hand and keep working on stuff with the other hand. That makes her so mad. Uh, so
Oh,
and it's a joke at this point. Like it's never a serious, but like it almost lightens the mood now that it's like,
yeah.
okay, like what are we arguing about? All
Right.
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 Um, Well, with all this said, we're kind of winding down here. Maybe, I mean, we've talked a lot. Last question I had is, what's one thing you want to tell your wife uh, that you haven't? I don't know if you haven't had the right words for, but maybe just a shout out to your wife or wives or something like that. I think we've kind of done it the whole podcast, so I don't know. But any last comments, I guess.
Just, I mean, I think we touched on everything, but just thank you for choosing us regardless of the situation, knowing like they knew what they were getting themselves into and still chose to be with us and go through what they've gotten through and put in the extra work, even though they could have possibly, like you mentioned before, like they might have had a in their mind a dream life when they were little girls or growing up that it's totally different now because of us, but they're still here and like just tough. I mean, they're from what my wife's been through in the last 3 years, especially. I mean, it's just extraordinary and uh, gives a new definition to the word tough for sure.
I'm not going to
You
add to
know,
that. That was so good.
that was amazing. That's so true too. Um, just even thinking our wives are truly amazing. Like you said, they stuck with us through everything, all the struggles, all the pain, and like you said with the IVF, watching Brittany have to go through IVF and all these through the miscarriage and stuff, it's devastating, and they are true champs. I mean, last night it just it my I was blown away. Like watching her back, it sounds crazy, but dumb, but watching her back a huge trailer down behind our house, the trailer barely fits. It's like, this girl is a damn champ. Like, and she picks stuff up. She literally does everything. I mean, she's amazing. Truly amazing. So, but you said everything. Everything I had is the truth
Got it.
that you
Yeah,
said.
I agree with everything, guys. It's a great episode. We should have him on one time. We can
Definitely.
feature him or something.
Do with 'em.
Yeah. And then, hey, teasing up the next episode, talk about the guilt with the kids, uh, which is a whole different ballgame.
It is.
But definitely heavy too.
Yeah.
It's
All
gonna
right.
be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Can't wait. All right, guys.